we brought it through to season 2 and thought it would be really nice as like a central spawn point. Also, it has a bed, which is helpful. So, yeah.
Don't give me that look, Harold.
He jumped out of the treehouse to sleep. That's awesome.
No,
and there was a bed right there.
out of the treehouse to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, this is Harold Hafner, and welcome to Archaeological Minecraft. I'm a former archaeologist who enjoys playing Minecraft and thought it'd be fun to combine the two. Welcome to Season 2 of Archaeo SMP. For those of you who are new here, Archaeo SMP is an archaeologically themed Minecraft multiplayer server created and hosted by Archaeoplays that has a number of archaeologists, former archaeologists such as myself, and archaeology and history enthusiasts as members of the server, many of whom are fellow content creators, so I'll put links to all of their channels below in the description. For those of you who've watched my Season 1 episodes, welcome back. I'm excited to start this new season and share more archaeologically and historically themed builds with all of you. This episode's going to be divided up into a couple of parts. There's going to be the normal new SMP kind of stuff where I pal around with my server mates doing some cave mining and go on some adventures. And then after that, I'm going to make my way over to where I plan to build my base this season, and I'll lay out some of my plans for this season for all of you, and then get started building my archaeologically themed starter house. So let's jump back right into it.
Yeah, so this is not everybody on the server. We have myself and Dragon and Harold and Johanna and KMB, who's new this season. Hello, welcome in.
Hello.
Hello. And then we have Moon and Lazugod. And have I missed anybody? I don't think so. I started going alphabetically, and then I started going by people I could see, so I went totally out of order in any way that I could track it.
Did you say Clara?
I thought I said Clara. Did I say Clara? Well, we also have Clara.
No,
I don't know either.
I don't know.
What you may have noticed is that Spawn, there's a lot of builds around Spawn. We built some communal stuff around Spawn, to get to know some of our new players and also just have kind of like a community event and to make sure all of our mods and such worked before we went live. So we have Spawn. I don't know, do we want to do a bit of a tour around Spawn?
Maybe? Yeah, let's do it.
Sure. Okay, I'm going to start here because that's where I am, even if it doesn't necessarily make sense to start with this one. This is our post office. People who built the post office. Do you want to chat about the post office? Maybe Harold?
Yeah, sure. So the post office, the idea is it's all open air, so anyone walking by can see their mailbox. We'll put names on the mailbox. And Lazugod did an awesome job creating all the redstone, so the light lights up when you have mail.
Yeah, so let's see.
Nice.
And then on top there's a little patio so people can sit up and look over the beautiful Spawn.
Yeah, there's like a staircase over this way, right?
Yep.
Very cute. I'm a fan.
This
This isn't clockwise, this is anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise.
It is anti-clockwise. I don't know who built this bit.
Hi, I did.
Hi.
Nice.
Explain, Clara.
Well,
Antique-clockwise, well done.
Anti-clockwise.
We needed a place to sleep,
What?
but it's not really a town.
Excuse me?
It's basically an oasis. So
There's
it's
a
like,
patrol
you know what?
here.
Campsite. There's
What?
a patrol.
There's a patrol.
Oh yeah. look
Okay,
at that,
well
yeah.
let's
They're coming to the party.
maybe just avoid that part of Spawn for now, maybe.
Yeah, they're here. They're just here.
Yeah, that's okay.
Looking
They
at
can-
us.
That's
They're
okay.
welcoming
Guys.
us to the...
They're just
they're
they're excited for lunch too. They
Are they
wanted to get
friendly?
involved.
Bye.
Do they want
Oh,
to be
now I
friends?
see one
Are
of
they
them.
friendly?
No,
Yeah,
dragon.
Do
no.
they have gifts?
They're
No.
not friend shaped.
They have gifts of
friendships.
arrows in your face.
Okay, let's move on over this way. This is a basically a starting point. So last season when we started, I gave everybody like a chest that had some starting gear in it because we had people who'd never played Minecraft before. So I was like, I'll give you some wooden tools and some food so that you don't immediately perish. And so this is basically the same thing, except you just need to put an oak log into the vault.
Oh, your fish.
You're an
got
aquatic
fish.
creature.
Oh, thank you.
Ah,
Hey.
nice.
Was that 2 stone tools?
That's 3. Oh, wait, or Harold, did you get 2? A stone axe and a stone pick.
I got two stone.
Wow.
2 stone.
Wow.
And 5 pieces of netherite. No, I'm just kidding about that last thing.
Can
Wow.
you imagine?
Hacks.
So I don't know if I like the look of this shop, but I'm going with it.
I
This
love
is the
it.
head.
I like it.
This is the head shop. So basically, it's everybody's player heads.
Sorry.
And you can come here, and if you want, I don't know, like Lazagod's head, you just push the button. And then we have the recycling center, and I don't who worked on the recycling center. I know Lazagod did. Did anybody
Lazagod,
work
yeah.
on it?
Yeah, I think it was just
With-
last god.
Lazagod
I
did.
may have
Okay.
added a couple glow lichen to light it up. That was it.
Yeah. So since Lazagod can't be on voice, I'll try to explain, but Lazagod, feel free to add stuff and or correct me when I'm wrong, okay? So the recycling center, basically last season, you may have noticed that there was a giant pile of shulker boxes at spawn that V's made a yard sale out of, and it was so convenient. So the recycling center is that idea, just a little bit more of a formal build, and you can come and have a look at the recycling center, see if there's anything you would like that is here, and take whatever's here, basically. Eventually, there'll probably be shulker boxes in here, but obviously we haven't been to the end yet because it's day one, and yeah, that's effectively it.
But it's gonna be a map
No maps.
of
Just a
everyone.
blank canvas for now.
Yeah, and at some point we'll put like maps in the barrels, and people will be able to like make a copy of the map their base or farm or something is in, and like go mark and where their stuff is, pretty much.
Yeah.
So we can have like a map of the server and see people's bases and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we have the Archaeological Office, Archaeological Society. I'm really proud of this build. I really like it.
That's so cool.
This is a nod to
It is
all
pretty
of the
cool.
archaeologists and anybody who's ever worked in a heritage setting before. There's a little diorama display here that took me forever with all of the armor stands, hence why there's only one house in the display, because that took me like an hour, and I didn't feel like doing more.
Oh, this is so awesome.
So it's a little diorama, and then over here there's make your own pottery shirts. So it's like a little kids activity center with little shirts that they could color in and
Aw.
stuff. And then there's like a whole museum display over here. I didn't put like actual text for the museum display because I didn't have the time. But it's like a little display, and this is like the start of it. But if anybody had like an exhibit that they wanted to put together, they can put it together for the Archaeological Society. We can change all this up, and then the other bit that's like super mega not well. Oh, also there's a geology wall, because if you've ever been
Yay.
to an archaeological office, there's almost always some kind of rock art thing happening. So yeah, I made a wall of geology because that's how it goes. Archaeology usually gets stuck in the same building as geology because we both dig in dirt and deal with rocks. And so whatever institutions we're working with are like, yeah, you can keep all the dirt and the rocks in the same building, basically, which really helps us because geology is a big part of archaeology. So we definitely don't mind being in with the geologists. Also, hello, Orkboy, welcome in. Hello, and Erdeval, hello, welcome into stream. And then the other thing is that the archaeological offices are downstairs, down a really slightly weird staircase that has a whole bunch of filing cabinets and boxes and stuff. Number one, this is a ranging rod. I love making ranging rods in Minecraft for archaeology. And this is the archaeological office. And I may have tapped into my inner archaeologist for this. Archaeological offices are usually like in a cramped room in the basement with low lighting and like equipment stacked everywhere. So this is like a true archaeological experience here. And I also included high vis and hard hats for people because it had to be an immersive experience. So that's that. And then the only other part of this building is very permit office vibes. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
The other element of this building is that it's a weird shape because I have never been in an archaeological building that isn't the weirdest shape I've ever seen. And we have this. This is our spawn-based nether portal. I'm going to let Clara and Dragon describe this.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Dragon, your turn.
With the trails,
Trial.
the trial chambers, I wanted to do something that was an homage to that. So we stuck very much with the themed colors that you find in the chambers, and then of course the sword for the battle aspect of that. It's always nice for those who are directionally challenged to have some sort of point to spawn. So the beacons, which don't do anything, they're not set to do anything, all point to spawn.
Yeah. Cool.
And then around the corner is my nether tree.
Oh yes, the nether tree, which I haven't seen the full build for.
It looks so cool.
It does look so cool. So this kind of came about because Harold was well, it wasn't just Harold, but we were interested in having people build something at spawn, and having some like organic decoration builds as well. And Dragon was like, but does magma count as organic? And so it's nature based. So it's a nether tree.
Yeah.
And then we have the Respawn Express.
AKA the safest
Woo!
theme park in the world.
The safest
yes,
theme
yes.
park in the world.
Yes.
Yep, supposedly. That's what the sign says.
Yep.
I mean, if the sign says it, it's got to be true.
Exactly.
Also, hello, Heather. Welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah. Please, do you want to describe what the Respawn Express is?
Well, I'm not a person of many words, so I'll give it
Ooh, we're gonna get a demo? Let's go.
Oh. Bye.
Oh, I was wondering
Squish.
where it launched. I see. I hadn't
Yeah,
fully
don't drop in the
explored
hole.
this because I didn't necessarily want to know everything before the season started. So yeah. So there's this little plane called the Wright Brothers Break Room. If you push the button, I didn't catch it on camera, but if you push the button, it launches you over into minecarts and you get squished, which is great.
Yeah.
I love the little
Yeah.
plane design. It's phenomenal. There we go.
Now you get a demo.
It's called
Yeah.
that because it launches you into a room that breaks you.
Yeah. It's that's great.
Oh.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Oh yes, there's also knife 4 looted from Visa's cold body by Clara. Yes. For those who saw last season when Harold did the amphitheater fight, Clara won basically. Well, yeah. There was a lot of death on various people given by Clara. So this is a tavern. This was built by Reborn 57, who is not currently on the server, but will be. I don't think Reborn's on. No,
Oh my God,
not
there's
currently on the
baby
server,
bees.
but probably will join us sometime later today. And she got on and built this whole. Oh my gosh, this is adorable!
There's baby V's.
Oh, my
it's baby
gosh.
bees, look at
It's
that.
so baby bees. Oh my gosh.
Oh, these armor
Oh my
stands are
gosh.
so cool.
Dragon, did you see the one at the corner?
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I'm short, but
And Robert Skitch is getting stuff. Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Cute. This is so cute.
This is so cute.
I have a cookie!
Oh my gosh.
I have a cookie. Everything is ready
They
in the
tried
world.
to incorporate us 2 or
Nice.
3 times throughout the entire build, so
I love it
should
so
be 2 or
much.
3 of your own heads.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
God,
they're-
come here, guys. There's baby Archaeo.
What?
Oh, that
Baby
is.
me? Where?
Baby you.
Oh, over here.
Over here? Ha!
I
love
the
that
word
I'm
block.
on a booster seat.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome!
Oh my God.
I approve. This is great. I love that
Oh, this is cute.
There is
I'm
an
very
upstairs
curious.
room too.
there's an upstairs. Oh my
Oh
gosh,
my
this
God,
is so
this
good.
is roast piglin. Oh no.
It's so good. So
With a tail. With a little tail.
Oh, there is a
my
little tail. It's
God.
awesome.
wow. So Reborn built this like
Oh my God.
yesterday or
Yeah.
the, like night before yesterday.
Thursday. Yeah,
This is a
Thursday.
this is a very recent build.
This is
So
so
I'm so impressed. This is so good.
This
oh
is
my
really cool.
The
I
glass
missed
roof
this
thing
one where I'm just
Yeah.
on a table and
is so nice because it's raining right now and it
I'm
feels like
doing
real life.
things. I don't
Yeah,
Yeah,
know.
I would love this IRL. I'd be
This
up here
is-
all the time.
this is so nice. This is so good.
Also,
who's
Moon?
on the
Yeah, what am I doing? No.
you're holding.
I had a few too many beers, I think.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's a little bit.
It looks like Moon is trying to do something devious to the meal prep.
Yeah, because
Oh,
it's
is
a flash
gosh.
potion.
Oh,
Moon,
no.
are you trying to poison everybody?
Are you trying
Yeah.
to save the pig?
No piglins for anyone.
I don't know if I didn't have huge amounts of plans for today. More just kind of getting started with Minecraft. I don't know if anybody had something they wanted to do. I thought we could do like a group mining/caving session at some point, but we probably want like halfway decent gear before we do that.
I'm going
I
to
mean, we're
write an
getting the
ocean
gear in the
monument
cave,
today.
right?
You're gonna raid an ocean monument?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going. Of course.
Wow. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's
ocean,
go.
Ocean monument day 1.
I mean, not
Um,
right now, but like in an hour or so.
In
In
a
an
few
hour or so.
hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So it sounds like y'all need to go caving.
Well, it was about that time that we went caving, and so I'll make a little montage here of all the diamonds I found and all the deaths I had of our little splunking expedition. Oh, this is one
is
of
there a
those
mine shaft?
Mine shaft, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Ooh.
Abandoned mine shaft. Well, as I call. Hold on. A skeleton with an enchanted bow down there.
Oh, that's not a friend. Okay. I saw dark blue. I was like, yeah, I'm safe. It's hard, and then
No, I was jumping down to protect you, or try to. Oh, I was about to mine this diamond with this stone pickaxe. That would have been
no.
foolish. Oh, I just mined the diamond. I'm just standing here smelting iron. Super
Hey.
exciting.
Where did you come from? Go away.
I've,
Leave me
I've
alone.
been,
Don't kill
I've
me.
been poisoned
No.
again. So, oh, there we go.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm going to be the greeter for everyone who dies. I'm just going to stand here and greet
You're
everyone.
just gonna stand there and say hello.
Just greet everyone. Hello.
Well, I
welcome
can
to
now
life
smell
again.
better stuff again.
Welcome to the cave. Well, it was at that time that, with all those deaths, caving session out of the way, we thought we'd go take on that ocean monument. Well, as you would have guessed, going after an ocean monument isn't without its fair share of difficulties on the first day. None of us knew where one was, so there was much exploring of the oceans that had to happen. And when we did find one, we constructed a conduit so we could breathe underwater. But as expected, there were many deaths, and I did my fair share to contribute to the overall body count. In the end, we figured out that this particular ocean monument didn't even contain an Elder Guardian, so all of it ended up just being a fun adventure. And that's really what these kinds of things are all about. Okay, so here we are, home sweet home. This is where I'm going to be basing this season. Surrounded by sheep and some chickens making a lot of noise. After those little hijinks and those adventures, hopefully you liked that. Got a little base set up here and starting to grow some crops so I have food, and I got to wrangle these guys at some point. But let me show you what the plan is here for the base this year. So let's see. The best way to do this maybe to sail out here into the middle of my lake. So I'm going to be basing around this lake this season. And so let me get out to the middle so my render distance all comes in. And then let me pop up into cheaty cam mode here. Okay, so in cheaty cam mode. And so here's the plan for this base this year. But yeah, so the idea would be, think about this whole lake like it's a clock, right? A clock of time. And as you go around the lake here, time will start in the earliest human kind of civilizations, the earliest human, from the Stone Age or the earliest human settlements, all the way through the Bronze Age and Iron Age and medieval era up to the modern age. And I'll be building ships and building things on land. And then if I have something, let's say I have multiple things in the Neolithic, well, then I'll span further out, or in the case of, maybe more ship-based items, I would be going further in. And so then you could see visually, the idea is, we'll see how close I get to this in reality. So the idea would be, at the end of all this, you would be able to look across the whole lake and see builds spanning all of human history, and then see visually where they occurred comparative to one another in time, and then where things existed comparatively to one another by what's going in the kind of radius access outside of basically what is this big clock of time. So that's the idea. So we'll see how close I come to it, and so let's get cracking building my starter base. Okay, now that I've laid out my plans for the season and my thoughts about the base, what's my starter house and first build? Well, I figured at the start of a Minecraft world, you're punching trees to get wood and collecting cobblestone as your first resource, so why not start with a build from the Neolithic, in other words, the Stone Age, because that's kind of where I am right now in the Minecraft world. The build I'm going to do here as my starter base is a Neolithic Pile Dwelling. These types of habitation structures dated to around 3000 BC, though I've seen some dates that go back to 5000 BC and others that go well into the Bronze Age. They were located in the lakes and swampy areas around Central and Eastern Europe. One of the most famous areas where these types of structures were used is in the area of the Alps, which is now Switzerland, northern Italy, southern Germany, France, and Slovenia. But they could also be found further to the east from the Alps into what's now the area of western Russia, as well as one site, which I'll talk more about later, in Sweden. So what's a pile dwelling, and why would someone want to live in that type of house? Well, another name for a pile house is a stilt house, and that type of dwelling or grouping of dwellings is made by driving logs or stakes called piles into the soft dirt and mud of a lakeshore or right out over the lake, right near the shore. On top of the piles, a wooden platform would sit where the houses or any other structures would be placed. Now, I know what you're thinking. That seems like a lot of work. Why not just build the house on the ground or on the shore next to the lake? Well, that's a good question, and the reason why is in that area of the world during the Neolithic, there was a high fluctuation in the height of the water table over time. Flooding was an ever-present threat. If you simply put your house on the ground, it was sure to get flooded or washed away when located near a shoreline, where it was quite muddy and boggy soil. Building your dwelling on a platform raised up on piles or stilts help insulate you from that risk. It also had some other advantages. By being out over the water, that allowed for an easy way to protect your settlement from raiders, as often these settlements were only connected to the shoreline by a narrow bridge, so it was like a natural moat around your settlement. Another reason pointed out in one article is that if you're out over the water, there'd be less insects like mosquitoes, as well as other pests potentially like rodents. This was also a time at Central and Eastern Europe that they were just starting to leverage cereal grains, so any dry or non-marshy land could be utilized for the growing of crops instead of having to use that simply as a dry area to build their dwellings. Now, I will say that it certainly looks like many of the pile dwellings weren't directly over the water. They were just on the very muddy and mucky dirt where being off the ground help keep the dwelling dry, and they would be connected with trackways that interconnected the pile dwelling settlements together and to drier land. And if you want to learn more about how some of these trackways might look, I did a whole video about bog trackways, which you can find on my channel. So I just want to be clear about this. So I'm building my pile dwelling to reflect the fact that it's both on the shore and potentially inland, so that way you can see it could be both depending on the time of the year and where the water level was at that specific time of year. So what did these pile dwellings look like? Well, the actual platform and house is a bit of conjecture, as what's often left behind from an archaeological standpoint is the remains of the piles that were embedded into the muddy soil of the lake beds, as well as their hearths. But that type of wet and marshy environment also does a good job of sometimes preserving organic materials such as seeds, bones, or fabric and cordage, and so those are the types of artifacts that have also been found. Around the hearths can be found things like charred wheat and barley, crab apples, and hazelnuts. Based on what has remained from the piles and other wooden structures, it appears that the stilts were often made out of hazel or oak, and the houses contain wattle and daub construction, where small branches are weaved in and out of posts and covered with a mud, straw, and dung mixture. This was often covered with some form of whitewash to help provide further waterproofing. The bones that are found are often for cattle, sheep, and pigs, as well as dogs. And when I mention pigs, don't think of these pink types of pigs like we have in Minecraft. Rather, think of pigs more like boars. Pigs like we know it today are fairly recent and not what would have existed for these people back in the Neolithic. Bones of various fish species are often found in abundance, which makes sense for a settlement right on or right next to a lake, as well as wild game such as deer, wolf, and bear, and waterfowl. Okay, I said I would talk about the pile dwelling that was found in Sweden, as that one's a little bit different than the rest of the pile dwellings found in the Alps, which were more like houses placed on top of the piles. This was the Alvastra pile dwelling and dates to around 3000 BC and can be found, as the name would imply, in Alvastra, Sweden. Structurally, it aligns with the types of pile dwellings found around the Alps, but this is the only one found in that geographical area around Sweden. Based on the dendrochronology or tree ring dating, it shows that it was constructed in 2 stages within a 40-year time span. It started with an area that was around 200 square meters, so basically an area of around 20 by 10 meters, and that's how big this structure is that I'm building here. It was expanded to an area of around 5 times as large, reaching an extent of 1,000 square meters. This pile dwelling didn't contain any fortification walls from what I read in my research, unlike the pile dwellings sometimes in the Alps or Western Russia. This pile dwelling at Alvastra might not have been a permanent dwelling at all. Rather, it seems that this use case might have been a ritual space used during the summer months, with temporary huts constructed on the platform during that period, and that perhaps this site might have been used as a cemetery late in its later stages of usage on account of the amount of human remains that were found at the site, where the bodies of the deceased would have been left on the wooden platform after they died. Other articles I found point rather to it being a craft center for the making of pottery and point to a unique form of pottery found only at this site, but also to the pottery of both the pitted ware culture and the funnel beaker culture being found together at this site. Normally, the pottery of those 2 cultures aren't found together, so finding them like this at this site is curious and kind of unique. Well, that wraps up this video. I hope you liked it. I know this was a bit of an unusually structured episode for me, but I wanted to both spend time showing you the start of this new season on the Archaeo SMP and the hijinks we got up to with my server mates, while also talking about the archaeology and history of my starter house. Hopefully you didn't find it too disjointing. Let me know in the comments if you did, with maybe some suggestions about how I can restructure it to make it a little less disjointed if you felt it was that way. Make sure you take the time to like my videos if you like them, subscribe, and all that stuff. And if you want to see more videos about the Neolithic world, please check those out here on my channel. Thanks. Have a good rest of your day. Bye for now.